Hello and welcome to Glen Ives Craft Design. My name is Chastity Ives, bringing you another Halloween card this season. This time using flowers, Boo die set, as well as the Ghost stencil set that just came out this year. I saw these and I immediately had to buy them, and I'm so glad I did. So the first step I did was die cut the word boo um, 3 times. I'm making 2 cards, so technically 6 times, but I did 2 layers of white 80-pound cardstock, and then the top layer of the boo word is Simon's white velvet cardstock because I wanted texture because these are going to be pretty simple cards, but so in order to give that added layer of just something extra so it's not so flat, was the boo is the um, velvet sort of feel on the top layer, and you can see me there adhering that, and then the shadow layer is the Simon Says Stamp black cardstock. So it just gives that added bit of reflection because the card, as you could see in the thumbnail, what is going to be a grayscale card. I've done one of these in the past with Picket Fence Studios. They're I'm blanking right now, but they're the triple pumpkin stamp set that they released a couple years ago. Anyways, back to this though. I I got 2 waffle flower grip mats. These are just the 4 by 7.5 by like the 6.5. The smallest version. Um, so the background layer for the is the first stencil, and I took out flannel. So I'm using the Simon Says Stamp gradient inks for this card. I'm using flannel, which you're looking at now, then Earl, and then charcoal. Um, I again just wanted the grayscale, a simple ink blend, just a simple card that is mailable. It's not too bulky, it's not too heavy, it's pretty easy, and anyone can do it. And what's cool about this particular stamp set is, or sorry, the stencil set, I know words, is it frames it on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card front. So I thought that was pretty cool. I do end up actually cutting these down to 3 3/4 by 5. But if you wanted to do a 4 1/4 by 5.5, then you can certainly do that. Because it's already built in for you here to do that. I just wanted to add a frame, and you'll see that a little bit later on. So with the Earl, I just went in super light-handed. Then, because obviously the ghosts are going to get, are just going to be the white layer of my cardstock. The second layer is the pumpkin slash candy layer, and also the cheek layer for the ghost. So I just went with one color, and it would be the Earl color. And I honestly, I went in pretty heavy in some spots, but then other spots I went pretty light because I wanted a little bit of ebbs and flows, or you know just dimension slash depth. And you can see how it's coming together here shortly. But yeah, I really enjoyed this little stencil set, and the whole Halloween release that they came out with is really cool. I got the moon, as well as some sentiment strips and a couple other things. I didn't actually use any of those in this video, but um, I do plan to use that here before the holiday season is up. So this is layer 3, which is the black layer. So I didn't go in with black, I went in with charcoal, which is pretty black. It's pretty dark. It's not black, but it's dark. And went over to create the eyes as well as the teeth. the bats and the accent for the witch hat and candy. Um, it's pretty cool. I mean, it comes together, and it just honestly, when I look at this card, or even when I remove this stencil, I'm like, oh my gosh, look, it's like you're like living in a 1950s TV. That's what that's what you're looking at. But um, anyways, the charcoal layer just gives that bit of added depth. Um, and again, went in pretty heavy in some spots, went less heavy in others, just to give it that little bit of something something. And there they are. How cute are those? You can leave those. You can leave the card fronts like they are. Again, you can leave them 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but I did not. Um, I wanted to add a little bit of splatter, so I did two kinds, but I'm only showing one. I took out my black soot distress stain. I didn't feel like mixing up distress paint, so I just took out my my distress stain black soot, and then I also, you didn't see me splatter it, but the silver watercolor splatter from Picket Fence Studios. I love that stuff, just to give that bit of added shimmer. So then I went into the sub sentiment. So the sub sentiment is fabulous, so cute, and I'm heat embossing that in white pigment ink, and then I'm going to put on Simon Says Stamp Detail White ink, and then heat emboss those, then take my microfiber cloth and just remove all of the powder, or as much as I can remove. It did leave quite a few behind, but that's okay. I'm not mad about it. Then I cut these down into just little sentiment strips. This one I ended up cutting a little too close, but decided not to recut it. It is what it is. It's fine, and if someone complains, then they can complain. I don't care. um, so cut those down, and then propped these up on some black foam strips, again from Simon Says Stamp, just to give an added lift to said sub sentiments. And the black ones are perfect, especially, and there's me measuring how different they were. But on the inside, I did do the You're My Favorite Boo from one of the stamp sets that's in this release, and just took an acrylic block and stamped that on the inside, because sometimes I just don't feel like taking out my Misty again, so I'll just take out an acrylic block and then stamp. Then I let those card fronts dry, and then I cut them down, and I also cut down a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 black piece of paper to frame the card front that I just stenciled. And then what I did is just took some dot runner and flipped those card fronts over, and then centered them on the black piece of paper. And you can see me there, I was trying to get it as centered as possible. So with me being left-handed, sometimes they're not so centered, but that's okay. Yeah, and I just thought that gave it just a cute little frame, and then took that dot runner, and then I don't know why I did that, but I set that down on the wrong side. So you can make fun of me in the comments below. But anyways, put those on the card base that we already just did, and then I'm going to, and you can see I accidentally hit one of the card bases with the black ink, but oh well. Then I propped the boo word up on Big Mama foam tape, so that'll give it a little lift. I mean, I'm talking, it's not very much, but I wanted the word to be lifted off of the card front just a little bit, because there's a lot going on, and I wanted to get it off of the card, give it that little bit of added shadow there. And then here's me trying to figure out how I was going to arrange the card front. I did actually end up going with a sort of tilted look for the word boo, just because I thought that was a little cute. And then the sub sentiment there, I end up just putting in the bottom right hand corner. And I don't put it all the way to the edge, because I wanted that little bit of, I didn't want it to look like it was connected to the frame that I did. So these, I believe, are Simon's. I think I got these in a card kit, because they're not my favorite, these these sheets of embellishments just because I'm not good at getting them off and, whatever. But I thought this was the perfect time to use as many as I could, which was 7 on each card. And here you can see the added silver or the silver splatter that I did. But yeah, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to use, 7 of those embellishments from the strip there, and I just placed these in places that I thought would look good. And I chose the cloudy ones because, as you can, again, I wanted to stay with the grayscale, and a lot of the clear ones there, you can see that as they go in and out of the light, they're sort of holographic, and I didn't want that. But after I put those embellishments on, that finished off the cards, and they turned out exactly like I wanted in my head. I was actually finally able to put it to paper, and I'm so glad I did. And it's such an easy and quick card that, like, I mean, it's so cute that anyone can do this. So, anyways, that finished off these cards. So I'll see you on the next side.